The college football experience week 11 pregame show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
This is Jim Mora, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience pregame show. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Don D. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh! I barely got any sleep last night. Doesn't matter. The games, this is all prep. This is all prep for next week. Next week, we got college basketball tournaments in Scotland. Games going on at 2 a.m. The World Cup is going off. Just sports on all accounts. The chat is already live. Shout out to the chat, Johnny Boy, JC from KC. Yeah, I mean, we got a loaded lineup. I am going to be joined right now. Give it up for, well, if you follow our Saturday morning show, he's pretty much here every single Saturday morning. And we've been giving away a lot of fire picks. Last week, he was on Liberty on the money line. Give it up for host of the NBA Gambling Podcast, my guy, Terrell Furman Jr. How you doing, man?
Play my music. I need it for that Liberty money line.
Oh, let's go.
Ultimate look-ahead spot. You gave me 14.5 points. Come on, stop disrespecting Hugh Freeze.
Yes, I mean, unbelievable. Look, I was with you as far as the points. I even backed away a tiny bit on that money line. I was like, maybe. You know, you were like confident. You got it done. That was 100% you. And wow, I mean, and now I think we see an opportunity for us to jump back on the Razorbacks, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my first lock of the day. Let's just get started at the 9 a.m. game. And it's backing Arkansas on the money line against LSU. This is the ultimate letdown spot for LSU after beating Alabama at home. You look at this Arkansas team, and I know you have a little bit of questions at quarterback, and I don't know if that's been answered at this point in the morning, but you have still a really solid team that can play a different type of defense that I think can really throw some, different looks over there at Jalen Daniels. So, yeah, I'm all over Arkansas here.
Yeah, we got KJ Jefferson playing. I did see there was ice. We had some ice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's ice. It's ice, snow, whatever you want to call it. It's on the ground.
Oh. I think that's got to fit. I mean, look, I know Arkansas is not like, tropical, but it's not, and it's not Arctic by any means. But I'm saying, like, I would say it's colder in Arkansas from my experiences than in Louisiana. So slight that kind of favors them. And also, I would say it might, Jaden Daniels is a Los Angeles, California product that, so look, LA don't see snow. So maybe.
He's shook. His hand is shaking. Like, he don't know what to do. He's sitting there trying to figure out how he's going to grip the football. Like, come on, man. This second half is all Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm on the Razorbacks money line too. And look, LSU can still win. I get it. If they want to make the CFP, they probably got to win this game.
They have to win the game.
The reality is, though, this. And look, I cashed my over on LSU and 6.5 wins last week against Bama when Brian Kelly went for 2. But I've watched them every week this year. And credit to Brian Kelly because the last 3 weeks they have looked pretty good. But I still am nervous about them on the road. I still don't think they're a dominant team, and I think Arkansas can win the game on the money line. Let's fucking go. Give me the Razorbacks. Other games in the chat is lighting up like a Christmas tree. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Notre Dame Navy. Is this a letdown spot for the Irish?
Yes.
17 points in Navy in Baltimore. I still think, though, the fact they're playing at Raven Stadium, they're probably going to have more Notre Dame fans there than Navy fans. Maybe? I don't know.
Probably so.
Yeah. Notre Dame's laying 17. If you search out there is a 17.5. I will not mention where that is because we are sponsored by WinBet. Navy plus 17, right?
Yeah. I'm all over Navy plus 17. You know, once you start laying over 2 touchdowns with these service academies, you're getting into very ugly territory because if you can't stop them, like if you can't force them into 3-and-out situations, they're going to bleed you for a lot of clock in this game, And ultimately, I still have question marks about the Notre Dame defense. We thought it was a really good spot versus Clemson, and we thought that was a really good angle, and we could get them in a really good spot at Clemson. But now you're at a neutral site game. It really should be more of a Navy game, but you know, you're at a neutral site game. I think that the question marks that they have passing the ball and how good Navy's defense actually has been for a good portion of the year, it's enough for me to back Navy plus 17.
Yeah. And I've seen it's going to be around 68 degrees, so weather should not play an issue there in Baltimore. I'm going to take you to one that you might disagree with.
Okay.
Liberty is playing at UConn.
Yeah.
Jim Mora Jr. and UConn are, look, I don't want to say they're good, but they're
I mean, it's easy to look better than what you've been in, you know, the past couple of years.
Oh, he should be mentioned for Coach of the Year because he lost. So he brought in a bunch of transfers, but one of the key ones was Taquan Roberson, the 4-star from Penn State. And the first quarter of the first game of the season, he tears his ACL. So then he went to a freshman that was not highly recruited by any means. And somehow they're sitting here at 5-5. And my logic on this one, they're getting 14. I actually got this at 14.5 earlier in the week, but look at Liberty against the games they don't get up. Yes, they get up against the really good schools like Wake. They almost beat. But against Southern Miss, they win by 2 in double overtime. Even UAB, they win by 7. Akron, they only win by 9. Even UMass by only 18. Gardner-Webb by 1. I think this is a spot where Liberty says, where UConn says, hey, it's either this week or next week. We win, we go bowling. Our win total was fucking 2. Let's prove these people wrong.
Well, I don't think they said that part, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Jim Mora Jr. probably saw that shit, though.
He's got the win total posted. It's bulletin board.
Hey,
bulletin board.
If I was coach, that's what I'd be doing.
Hey, they said we couldn't win 2 games. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. We're going to time that by 3, baby.
Put it on the bulletin board.
We'll be in the Sarsaparilla Bowl.
Now I got to get a bulletin board to put right there.
I'm taking UConn. I'm locking it up, man. Let's go. Let's go. It's a letdown spot. Liberty just party their ass up, beat an SEC team.
Yeah.
Liberty might still get the win, but you're giving me 14. Gotta take the Huskies there. Gotta take the Huskies.
No. I think it's a pretty smooth spot. I don't think I'm gonna bet this game, but for the Liberty factor, I'm probably not going to bet the game, but I think this is a spot where you can catch Liberty slipping, especially off a really, really big win against the SEC on the road. It's been conversations all week. You just heard it on College Game Day. all they're talking about is who's going to be the next Auburn head coach, and the number one name that everybody's throwing out there is Hugh Freeze. So, it could be a little bit of maybe Hugh Freeze is trying to pull a Lincoln Riley situation where he's already got a foot out the door, or maybe it's just a pure letdown spot for this Liberty team, but it's too much for me to back them. I'm on UConn as well.
They had the chat saying UConn money line plus 435, and Nathan Haynes is correct. Day Hunter, the Hawaii transfer, who's Liberty's probably their best back. He, I believe, he's out for the year. They're down 2 backs, but he went down with a nasty injury.
Hey, if you hit that Liberty money line, why not sprinkle a little bit on UConn money line this week? You could double up on the situations right there.
There you go. Oklahoma is at West Virginia. This is the final time they'll be in Morgantown. If there was one Big 12 school that I think West Virginia just wouldn't care about, like all the other schools, it's personal because when Oklahoma or Texas plays at K-State or Oklahoma State or Iowa State, I know it's really personal because they have been a part of their conference for a long time. West Virginia, that's not the case. However, I still believe that Morgantown is Morgantown. And that is why I'm going to take the 8 points in West Virginia in Morgantown. I think they can at least cover the 8. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I have a hard time ever laying points with the Big 12 schools in West Virginia. It's just such a really hard road trip. It's a clear, what's the word I'm looking for? A very clear home field advantage from West Virginia. And you talk about all the Texas schools, Oklahoma schools, all that. That's a clear home court advantage. Man, yeah, I'm back in West Virginia here on the money line. I just haven't been impressed by this Oklahoma team. And every school is given a down year, a quote unquote down year. And this is probably just it for Oklahoma, shifting head coaches, trying to figure out their identity. I think West Virginia can keep it close.
Plus 225 on the money line for West Virginia if you want to ride the money line here. It's only 50 degrees, and they're calling for a chance of rain there and some wind as well. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's go. Let's take the Mountaineers there. Missouri heads into Knoxville, Tennessee. This line is at flat 20 right now. Tennessee minus 20. Oh, man, I actually struggle with this one. Part of me thinks Tennessee's just going to bounce back, but Missouri's defense is actually decent. The strength of that team is their defense, not their offense. I guess give me Tennessee minus 20. I don't like this play, though. What are you doing?
Oh, everybody's on Tennessee, and that's what makes it hard about Tennessee because it seems that they're actually public proof. If the public is on them, they can still win the game, a la Alabama. They can still win the game if they're in the public. I'm gonna just back Tennessee. My gut's telling me just back Tennessee to go and get right, get Missouri up out of there, and then next week could be the week that Tennessee slips up, but not this week. I'll take Tennessee.
Another thing is Brady Cook is the quarterback for Missouri.
I just can't back Missouri anymore this year, man.
Brady Cook sucks, dude.
Yeah, they're really bad.
A couple turnovers. The Missouri defense, I actually kind of feel sorry for them. A couple times I watched them, they have put their team in good spots to win the game, and the offense just can't produce anything. Virginia Tech at Duke. NC Nick told me to mention this because he said put your life savings on Duke minus 9.5 against the Hokies. I mean, I'm joking, but I mean, he did say Duke is a lock. I got to agree with him. Virginia Tech sucks, man. Virginia Tech's offense, they're like a worse version of Missouri.
Yeah.
Until I see otherwise, I mean, they let Georgia Tech beat them last week in Blacksburg with Georgia Tech's third string quarterback. They're really bad. I mean, I'll tell you this, man. Brent Pry better get his shit together because this is not a good first year. I'm on the Blue Devils minus the points. Is there any way
Nope.
you feel
nope.
Okay.
I know. Only thing that I would say that I'm curious about is I'm pretty sure this line opened up at 10 and is sitting at 9.5. That is concerning.
Yeah.
But no. I I can't tell you to take Virginia Tech. I really can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say we had a SGPN happy hour, and during that happy hour, everybody gave out a pick for the weekend. And see, Nick did say that Duke minus 9.5 is his pick, trying to low key kind of troll Kramer and myself, but he did say that is his pick. So if they lose, NC Nick is the reason why.
There you go. Indiana is at Ohio State. I cannot believe Big Noon kickoff is at this fucking game. I would rather watch a Little League football game right up the street right now.
I think the Big Ten has a lot of other better games on too. Like,
dude, this is ridiculous. It's a 40.5 point spread. Who are you taking in this? I'm laying the points, I guess. No, I'm taking the points. I think Indiana could score 1 touchdown, right?
I'm taking Ohio State on the money line. That's what some people are like. No,
I mean,
man,
this
I
is
don't.
such a ridiculous spread.
I don't know. I guess I'm laying the points with Ohio State. I don't care.
It's a terrible game. Purdue at Illinois actually has real implications in the Big Ten West. Purdue is catching 6.5 in Champaign. I'm on the Illini. I know they're trying to bait you. It seems like that they want you to take Illinois. I don't care. Purdue's run defense, not elite. Chase Brown is elite for the Illini. And another thing is I think Ryan Walters will be able to force the Boilermakers into a couple turnovers. Boilermakers offense can throw the ball around, so I do think they'll get some points, but I think Illinois will also be able to capitalize off a couple turnovers. I'm going to lay the 6.5. What are you doing?
Oh, I am going to take the 6.5 with Purdue. Purdue offense dropped 3 points versus Iowa at home last week. Like, come on now. Iowa is one of the better top 2, top 3 defenses in the Big Ten. And yes, Illinois' defense is really, really good, but I expect to see a bounce back performance here from Purdue. They're going to be able to find ways to score points. And if I'm talking about a Big Ten shootout, which is really only like 20, 30 points, but if I'm talking a Big Ten shootout between Aiden O'Connell and freaking what's his name? DeVito.
Yeah.
Then I'm taking O'Connell. Give me the 6.5.
Yeah. I see the chat talking about my East Carolina Pirates. Hey, you leave their name out your mouth, but look, we still covered, baby. We still covered.
They very much did cover.
Great teams cover, and good teams cover as well. And next up, Pitt is at UVA. This game is gross, but Pitt is laying 5.5. Patty C is trying to convince me that Virginia is a decent team on last week's college football experience episode. I am not taking the bait on his fucking wahoo.
I feel like that's why it's 5, because they don't know what to do with the game. They have no idea what to make of the game. These teams suck. These teams stink, but Virginia is really bad. Give me Pitt -5.
Yeah, I'm doing it too. Even though like Pitt has been ugly this year too, man. But yeah. What about JMU at ODU? JMU's laying a touchdown.
So Patty C tried reverse psychology. I saw him and I peeped that. He tried a little reverse psychology and said, I'm going to go with ODU this week. And I'm not going to let him jinx us. ODU has a win over Virginia Tech. They are, from what it seems, the premier school in Virginia, resting right there in Norfolk. I'm not letting Patty C gonna jinx anything we got going on. I'm going with Norfolk all day in the Virginia Bowl. Give me ODU and sprinkle on the money line.
I think it's not a bad option because the health of JMU has been, and I even heard their coach talking about this. So the one flaw of coming up from the FCS is you have like 30 less scholarships. And he was talking about his depth not being there once some players got injured, and you look at JMU's last like 3 or 4 games they've lost. I think the coach might have a point. I'm with you. Give me the touchdown in ODU. Let's go. Nebraska's catching 30.5 at Michigan. Do we even talk about this game?
No.
No. Yeah, I mean, Nebraska.
Nebraska though.
Yeah, I'll take Nebraska too. All right, you want to get if speaking of gross games, Miami is at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is laying 3 point, 2.5 actually, 2.5 that I'm seeing here. Oh man, this is ridiculous. Now, Tyler Van Dyke is out for the Hurricanes, their quarterback.
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Like,
Jeff
does it really,
Sims is
like, does any
questionable.
type of injury report matter? Like, do you feel comfortable no matter what injury report comes out and ever betting Miami football right now?
No, I'm taking Georgia Tech, dude. I'm all over Georgia Tech. Like Miami looks awful. Like
This is probably the game Miami wins too. Just because Mario Cristobal is actually a pretty decent head coach. He's just, first year head coach jitters in the new school. But like,
like Georgia Tech gets up for these games though? Tradition.
Yeah, I can't just go out here and tell people bet Miami football. I would lose all street cred. Take Georgia Tech.
Wisconsin's at Iowa. Lawn chair special going on in the Midwest of America.
See, like big noon kickoff should be here. Like
Yeah.
this should be a big noon kickoff game.
100%, man, because this is a gigantic game in the conference or in the Big Ten West. It's at a pick right now. This was Wisconsin -1 earlier. Dude, I have no idea who's winning this game. I gave this analysis on the College Football Experience. I said, okay, I was at home, so I think I'd lean Iowa, but both quarterbacks suck ass. The one that makes the least amount of turnovers, because both are going to make turnovers against these defenses. The one that makes the least amount of turnovers, I would expect their team to get the win. I was at home. I actually think Mertz is better than Petrus, but I was at home.
That is like such an ugly quarterback battle. Like that might be one of the ugliest quarterback battles that you've heard. Like,
dude,
Petrus versus Mertz. That's, oh my God. Yuck.
Graham Mertz was the first player to capitalize on the NIL with his t-shirt company for Mertz. I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, I would just say that I think that one wasn't a bestseller in Madison. What are you doing here?
This is let me see here. So we got
the over-unders at 35.
The status of the Big Ten West is just really crazy. You got Illinois 4-2, Wisconsin, Purdue, Iowa, Minnesota, all sitting at 3-3. Man,
dude, this is like a 10-7 game, dude. This is
yeah.
like I'm telling you, it's whoever.
Like, do I just tell you bet the under? Whatever the under is probably super low.
35. It's at 35, dude.
I mean, you still take the under. Still,
I think you're right.
I can't even sit here and say I want to be contrarian. I really do.
I think you're right, though. I think you still take the under. I think you're looking at like a 14-10 game or something.
All right. For the actual side pick in this one, I'm gonna go to, what did I put down here? I hate that I'm not getting any points or anything. We just got to pick this one straight up. All right, give me the Iowa's at home. I really have a hard time backing Iowa when they're, not backing Iowa when they're at home. They're a really, really good home team, but with one of the best home environments in college football. This defense is absolutely lights out, like insane crazy. Again, that Purdue team at home to 3 points last week. Yeah, I'll go ahead back Iowa here. I've seen Iowa win more of these big games recently.
Yeah. Bama's at Ole Miss. Bama's laying 11. Everyone's saying Nick Saban should be retired. Not pick Dundee. I will lay the 11. I watched Ole Miss in person against a bad A&M team 2 weeks ago. Was not super impressed. I will lay the 11 with Bama. I think Bama's going to fuck up Ole Miss today. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm with Bama as well. This is the typical get right spot. I guess the Ole Miss defense really, really lacks, and Alabama defense that I think is going to be swarming to the ball today. They're going to generate a lot of pressure and try to get there and really just try to overwhelm and overpower Lane Kiffin so that whatever adjustments he does make, like, it just doesn't matter. The talent disparity between the two teams is just too large. So, yeah, I think Alabama in a rout today.
Another thing is, like, Bama's weakness, it seems to me, defensively is in their secondary. Ole Miss, not a very efficient passing team. They're a running team this year as opposed to most years. I think it just favors Bama's situation. I will lay the 11, lock it up. It's one of my best bets of the day as far as amount of money that I've thrown on something. Iowa State is at Oklahoma State. This one is interesting. Iowa State is currently a 1.5 point favorite. Spencer Sanders is questionable, and a slew of other players are out for Oklahoma State. Maybe that's the reasoning. I have to take Iowa State knowing that. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I think I trust Matt Campbell and his team a little bit better. And it just seems like everything that could have possibly gone wrong for Oklahoma State in the past few weeks has gone wrong for Oklahoma State. And they're kind of reeling as a team right now. And, you look at where you are in terms of the conference, in terms of the chances at the playoff, all that. It just seems like they're willing to just be happy to be a bowl eligible team and get up out of here. So, yeah, I'll take Iowa State. That still has a lot to play for.
Yeah. Louisville's at Clemson. I'm very curious to see what you're doing here. Louisville is all of a sudden the past 3 weeks started to play some good football. They're catching 7. Clemson has the longest home win streak in the country. They're coming off a loss. But at the same time, can you really lay more than a touchdown with that quarterback play? They should be in the Big Ten West with that fucking quarterback play. I'm taking Louisville in the points. I know that might be foolish. This is not a lock by any means.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Clemson's quarterback play looks like shit. And I think both quarterbacks don't have any confidence right now. What are you doing here?
Oh, man.
I could see Clemson whooping their ass too. That's why I'm not advising people about this.
Yeah, I think I came into the week saying, wow, Louisville's getting 7. I have to take Louisville. I don't really feel necessarily comfortable about that. And maybe there is a middle here where Louisville covers but doesn't get the win outright. But I can't. I don't know what Clemson's doing offensively. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what they're,
And I think
their plan is.
I think Dabo has ruined both of their confidence. I don't agree with the philosophy of like just keep bringing both in. I think you stick with one for at least a longer period of time. But I mean, now they both kind of have.
I mean, you made your bed, now lay in it. You made your bed and now lay in it. You didn't go to the transfer portal and get another guy. You knew what you had in that locker room when you started the season and that this could be an issue. Now it's either ride out with DJ or say that you're going to sit him. You're going to see what you got in this freshman quarterback. Like, I just don't understand. Like, there's no.
And he was basically like hyping him up all year. And look, I'll say the first couple games he did look slightly improved, but he's still not good. And maybe he'll get good down the stretch. He's only a sophomore, but right now he's not good. And now when you keep bringing in Klubnik, and by the way, Klubnik on his first pass against Notre Dame was a pick 6. Yeah. I just think it's a fucking your quarterback situation is a complete dumpster fire right now. I think both
they need to go to the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And he won't. He will not go up in the transfer portal to get one of the premier quarterbacks that is trying to go around. So I mean, hey, like I said, you made your bed, now lay in it. I can't back them in the points. I'll take Louisville.
I mean, and I think you see it on the landscape of college football. People were talking about, well, how Alabama looks like they're vulnerable this year. I think a lot of that has to do with the teams they're playing. Look at those losses. Hendon Hooker came in through Virginia Tech. Jaden Daniels came in through LSU. You're telling me LSU beats Alabama with Miles Brennan? I don't fucking think so. They'll be 500 with Miles Brennan right now. So I'm going to lock up this one though. Maryland's going to Penn State. Penn State's laying 10.5. Maryland sucks. Give me Penn State. If this was at Maryland, it'd be different. I've been locking up this game for like the past 5 years. Only once, I think 5 years ago, I was foolish enough to take Maryland and they lost 59-0. Ever since then, I've taken Penn State and it's hit every fucking year. Let's do it again. Penn State minus the points. What are you doing here?
I'll join you in that lock. I bet this one earlier today. I'll join you in that lock.
There we go.
Maryland on the road has just been really bad. It's been an issue and a story that we've known since the test of time. It doesn't matter what leadership is in there. It doesn't matter what quarterback is in there. It just Maryland on the road, something really, really bad. You have to pick your road spots with Maryland very, very wisely. This is not one of them. I think that this is Penn State in a rout.
Yeah. I saw, and Pete Rodriguez says, "What's up, Colby? Did anyone get suspended on Michigan State for today's games versus Rutgers?" I believe last I saw they were suspended indefinitely. I don't know. I'll check in a second here on that. But last I heard, I thought I saw that.
Let me see if I can find it.
App State is at Marshall, a bounce back spot. App, extra days rest because they played on like a Wednesday or Thursday last week. They also lost in Conway. I think they bounced back. I'm going to lay the 1.5 on the road at Marshall, even though I know it's going to be cold up in those mountains. I'll still take Marshall. What are you doing there? I'm sorry. I'll still take App State. What are you doing there?
Yeah, I am. I think I'm going App State here as well. Has Marshall not been one of the more up and down teams of this year?
Dude, it's hard to get a read on them, man.
Yeah,
it's really hard to get a read on the Marshall Thundering Herd. They won.
I'm not betting this one. I can't lock this one up or bet it. I just think that because I do see a world where Marshall gets up for this game at home versus App. One of the, you just came to the conference. This is one of the more dominant teams of the conference for the past 5-6 years, something like that. So, I'm going with App here, but tread lightly if you do bet this one.
Yeah. One of the better games of the day with major implications on the conference championship is UCF heading to New Orleans to take on Tulane. This line has bounced a little bit around. I'm only seeing Tulane -1 at the minute. You know what? I just trust, and that's something to watch too, is the injury situation. John Rice Plumlee's questionable. This is going to sound weird because me and Patty C have repped John Rice Plumlee pretty hard as far as him being an elite athlete, but he is a bad passing quarterback, right? He's getting better, I would say, but he's still not a good passing quarterback. I actually think if he does not play, the chances of UCF winning this game go up. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds crazy, but Mikey Keene, the backup, actually is a decent passing quarterback, and I think Tulane's defense is pretty good, especially their pass defense. So if you're starting John Rice Plumlee, who's just not very elite passing, I can see that being a bad scenario against one of the better pass defenses in the nation. So something to monitor. I still am going to take Tulane, though. I think Tulane is the better team. I think they're the tougher team. Ty J. Spears, their running back, he's a pretty big beast there in the backfield there. I think he might give UCF problems, although I know RJ Harvey, the running back for UCF, has been going off lately too. But give me it's back-to-back away also for UCF. They played out in Memphis last week and barely won that one. I think it catches up to them today. What are you doing here?
I'm on Tulane. I think that this is the spot where Tulane says, "Hey, it just feels like the books are underrating Tulane. Like, what should this be a larger spread? Like, do you have UCF? They turned their season around from the beginning of the season, but do you think that they really are a pick 1 point spread? Like,
no,
this is at 3 at least, right?
Yeah, 3.5, something like that.
I just think the books haven't caught up to Tulane yet, and saying that Tulane is a really good team. Now Tulane's ranked 17 in the nation. You got 21 coming to you. This is a way to, if this was a 12-team college football playoff, you're looking at this and saying, "Holy shit, if we win this game, we have a good case to be number 12, to get up to number 12." So, that's why I can't wait for the expansion. Games like this are going to mean a lot more, but I'm going to just trust Tulane here. Give me Tulane.
Yeah, certainly.
And looking at Michigan State, it looks like there is more players suspended, and I think they are still out indefinitely.
And Pete, I think part of that suspension, Michigan State's playing it safe because there's pending law enforcement shit going on here. Like that. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to want to look. It'd be a PR nightmare if they end up starting them and then they end up catching a charge. I know it's ridiculous because, this is stuff that's happened in sports, like on a field. Like, look, I get it. Like, they were in the wrong, but at the same, and I don't think they should really face criminal charges, in my opinion. But unfortunately, this is the world we live in right now, and I think they would look bad because from a PR standpoint, if they were to start that, some of those guys that might have some some stuff headed their way soon. So I think that's part of it there. South Carolina's at Florida. Your Gamecocks against the Gators. I mean, Florida did roll A&M. I don't know if that means anything. But they did. They went to College Station, got the dub. But hey, South Carolina beat A&M too. The Gamecocks are catching 8 in the Swamp. I actually think this is going to be a game. I think it's going to be a game.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler hasn't looked elite this year. He's had moments where he's looked good. Anthony Richardson has.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's had moments where he's looked good, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and Anthony Richardson is another one that's really struggling to throw the ball. Obviously, Anthony Richardson has elite talent. I think anyone that watches, there's certain plays where you watch Anthony Richardson, whether it's a 70-yard run or sometimes just his deep ball. Now, he hasn't been able to put it together consistently, but you see the potential and you say, oh, shit, he could be really good. Curious what you're doing here, and I'm curious, who do you think the better quarterback is this season?
Don't make me answer that, because this is like comparing these two quarterbacks is like sprinkling a little bit of sugar over a trash plate. The trash plate of Graham Mertz and Spencer Petras. That's like, this is the SEC version of that. Like, this is an ugly quarterback.
Tough, dude. That's tough though, because at least AR-15, like, I remember watching that Utah
He
game.
can make plays, but
yeah. And you see it, you'll see like a certain throw, and you'll be like, oh man, if he can just find a way to make this, a reality.
Hone that in. He's really good.
Yeah.
Man, going into the Swamp is tough, but South Carolina plays Florida very tough. I'm trying to pull up the head-to-head right now. So I really want to abstain from this, because one of my locks preseason was South Carolina over 6.5 win total. We are sitting at 6. Well, no, it was over 6. So we're sitting at 6. We pushed. And now I'm trying to get the win. And so, but next 3 weeks, I have at the Swamp.
Oh, man.
At home to Tennessee, and then at Clemson. So it's like
Clemson's going to be the one that brings you home, man.
Man, I want to say Clemson is the one that's going to bring me home.
It might be this one. Give me the 8. I think this is like a field goal game. Maybe the Gators get the dub, but 8 points.
I don't think I'm willing to lay over a touchdown with Florida. I do think that Richardson is the better quarterback. I don't think it's enough for me. Like, it's not enough of a gap for me want to lay 8 points. So I'm going to take South Carolina, and I'm going to sprinkle on the money line.
Ooh.
I will sprinkle on the money line. We're not a show that gives out leans. Yes, bet South Carolina, sprinkle on the money line. They are going to be in this game.
I'm seeing at this very second plus 235 on the money line. Let's go.
And just so everybody knows, South Carolina won this matchup last year 40-17, covered a 20-point spread, and absolutely dominated this game. 2 of the last 5 have gone to the South Carolina Gamecocks. However, both of those were in Columbia, so we will, give some credit for that. They were both in Columbia. Last 2 times they played in the Swamp, 34-24. Florida didn't cover a 15-point spread versus South Carolina, and 35-31. Florida also did not cover in that game, a 6.5-point spread. We have South Carolina, who has covered this matchup in 4 of the last 5 games. I love the South Carolina Gamecocks today. Go Cox!
I like it. Okay, I'm gonna give out a gross play here. I'm gonna take New Mexico plus 22 points against Air Force, and I'm gonna lock it up. It's at Air Force too, and I know Terrell Furman Jr. He part of the United States Air Force himself. Here's my logic. Rocky Long is the defensive coordinator at New Mexico. The head coach is a player that played. So Rocky Long was a legendary coach at New Mexico in the he actually played at New Mexico in the 70s. Then was a coach in the 90s with Brian Urlacher. Probably their best coach of all time. He then went to San Diego State, and then he retired. But his former player Danny Gonzalez, who played for him at New Mexico and also coached under him in San Diego State, got the head coaching job at New Mexico. And he said, well, can you come back and coach defense? And yes, he did. He said, okay, you're my guy. Let's do this. Now, they still suck, right? They still suck, but they're getting better, right? My logic is this, though. Rocky,
Kobe with a history lesson on college football pregame show.
My logic is this. Rocky Long, if you look at his success at San Diego State, he was the guy that really put San Diego State on the map. His defense is, first off, he is the inventor of the 3-3-5 defense. And that always has fared well against the triple option. Now, last season, his first year at New Mexico, that was not the case. They lost by 28 to Air Force. But that was his first season. I think this defense is better. I also think one of the big flaws of that game, because I remember taking the points in New Mexico in that game, was New Mexico's trash-ass quarterback threw like 3 interceptions on their side of the field. They went in the portal. They got Miles Kendrick. He's a little bit better at quarterback. He's still not – I wouldn't say he's good by any means, but I think they're going to be able to hang in this game. I'm locking up the Lobos plus 22 in Colorado Springs. Let's go, baby. You coming?
Hey, man, I'm not going to let you give me a history lesson like that and not tell you on that lock. So I'm with you. I'm going with the Lobos as well. I'll lock it up. You sold me.
Let's go. And look, this is the only thing that could fuck us here is quarterback interceptions, because Air Force has got a good defense. Yeah. And New Mexico is not built to come like, so if we were to lose this bet, this is how I imagine this would go. A couple interceptions in the first half on their side of the field. Air Force can get up, 17. And then New Mexico, who's a running team, is forced to pass. And then you have a situation where it's a snowball effect, because they're not equipped for that. And then, so that's the worst way it happens. I think we cover it, though. I think they're going to be a little chippy there in Colorado Springs. Altitude shouldn't be that much of a problem. Obviously, New Mexico's in Albuquerque too. So, all right. Georgia's at Mississippi State. Hail State's getting 17, or actually 16 and a half right now. You know, I'm crazy on this one.
Yeah. I go ahead. I want you to go ahead and say it. I want you to say it so I can tell you you're crazy.
Give me the money line in Mississippi State and lock up 16 and a half points. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Maybe my heart's involved with this one. But no, here's my logic. Last time they've only played Kirby Smart once. Mike Leach has only played Kirby Smart once. That was in the COVID season. Now you could say, well, the fan base, I think they were only letting in like a little bit of fans to Athens, but they played at Georgia. And this was a 24-24 game with about 6 minutes left. Georgia did end up winning 31-24, but Will Rogers was a freshman. He threw like multiple interceptions that game, which obviously he could still do that today. But they don't face the air raid. Like Josh Heupel is a guy that obviously played quarterback under Mike Leach, but he runs the Art Briles shit that's much more vertical. I'm just going to take a shot. Mississippi State also kind of fell asleep at the wheel last week, almost lost that game. Taking a shot here on, and I think it's a letdown spot. Georgia just had that gigantic win against Tennessee.
Yeah.
And this is by far their toughest road test, I would say, as far as
for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So give me Mississippi State here. Stetson Bennett, couple interceptions in the first half. Let's go. What are you doing? Talk to me.
Oh, I'm absolutely not doing that. I'm all over Georgia here. Like, come on now. This Georgia team doesn't have letdown spots. They literally come at game in, game out every single time. I mean,
Stetson Bennett for Heisman?
Yeah, sure. So really it's just more of this team is now in full stride. Like, earlier in the season, they had some hiccups. They had some monster, killed some teams, but they had some hiccups as well. I think this team is in full stride now after the Tennessee win. And I just haven't seen the air raid offense of Mississippi State be able to do that to the defense of this caliber of Georgia. The point of the air raid is basically saying that my wide receivers, my offense is better than your defense. My wide receivers are going to win the matchup every single time. And I don't think that's the case when you talk about Ringo, when you talk about all the guys on this UGA defense. So no, I think that Mississippi State is going to struggle to move the ball they're going to depend on their defense. And right now, I don't know if their defense can hold this Georgia team. So yeah, I'm going with Georgia here.
Washington heads to Oregon. Very interested in this matchup because you have a contrast.
Don't you got the Coug shirt on, the hoodie too? Coug's hoodie on too.
I got this one when we went up to Pullman. This was a gift from the fine folks of Washington State, aka Mike Leach. Yeah, gotta rep that. Gotta rep that vibes. He might be picking up the chairs on his wide receivers, but they're gonna show up today. He's not picking up any fucking chairs today. All right. Washington is at Oregon. You know, Washington has the number 1 passing offense in the country. Oregon's got the number 123rd pass defense in the country. That's concerning. But Bo Nix is looking like the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. I mean, Bo Nix, do we owe him should we write him a letter, an apology letter?
I still haven't written Stetson Bennett his apology letter, so I can like off of good faith, I cannot even consider giving Bo Nix one if I still haven't given Stetson Bennett his flowers. So yeah, man, no, he's not getting a letter from me.
This one's gonna be cold, 41 degrees I'm seeing right now, but I mean Washington's used to cold weather. I'm taking the points. I think Oregon's probably going to win the game, but that's a lot of points in a game where the strength of Washington is the weakness of Oregon.
What's Oregon ranked right now?
Number 6 in the nation. But Michael Penix, he has.
What did they do last week? What did they do last week?
The Ducks or the Huskies? Which one?
The Ducks.
They housed Colorado 49-10.
Oh yeah, they played Colorado.
Hey.
I'm on Washington. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm backing them on the money line or not.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I mean that was kind of a bye week last week. This is a huge game. This is a huge game because if Washington wants to stay alive in the Pac-12 race, they're in the more desperate spot. Washington is.
Yeah, and I don't know. This is a really good spot for Oregon. Just adding another really good resume winner. Yeah, fuck it. I'm not gonna tell you to take a 12-point dog and not back them on the money line. So yeah, back Washington on the money line. I like Washington. Get a cover here, plus 12.5. They win a close game and
plus 400 on the money line. I love it.
Yeah, is it plus 400 for Washington?
Yeah. Right now, plus 400. I'm seeing.
Yeah, I would sprinkle on that money. I just think that this is. I think it's going to be too close of a game where you're going to be a little upset if you didn't have even win or lose, like win or lose the bet. I think it's going to be a close enough game where you're going to be a little upset if you don't have a little bit on Washington money line, even if it doesn't come through. Like you're going to want that sweat.
Yeah. Jeff Kulik says, "Do we ever bet first halves?" We've been known to do that.
Yeah.
Well, Bama.
This is a Bama first half week. This is definitely a Bama first half week.
Kansas is at Texas Tech. Texas Tech's laying 4. My Jayhawks are bowling. Our Jayhawks are bowling. And they're still alive in the Big 12. That's why I think we should take the plus 150 on the money line with the Jayhawks.
Are you not questioning what this Texas Tech team is? Am I the only one that doesn't feel like they have a good idea if Texas Tech is a good or bad team?
Yeah, I'll say this. Texas Tech's defense is better than I thought it would be. But they also they're a weird team. They're a hard team to understand because there are certain games where you watch them, like the Texas game, and you go, "Oh, okay, they're looking in the right direction." And then you have other games where you're just like, "What is going on here?" So I get that, but I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take my Jayhawks. Look, they've made me so much money. I'm just gonna keep riding them the whole year. Actually, every single week this season, I'm gonna ride Kansas and continue to ride Kansas even when I lose. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I think this is one of the weeks where we can't. Kansas as a dog's just been so profitable this year, and this just seems. I don't know what this Texas Tech team is. I don't even think they should probably be this big of a favor. I think this should be closer to a pick.
Well, that's why the line stinks, man.
And I think it's because the question marks of what's going on what the quarterback situation is going to look like for Kansas, like how healthy is each quarterback
Daniels
at this point.
Play. I saw that Daniels might play. He's questionable.
Even if he doesn't play, I still think Bean did pretty well.
Last week
I don't know.
Good.
I don't know. I can't back Texas Tech laying the points here. I'm taking Kansas.
TCU is at Texas. Texas is laying 7. I'm locking up the Texas Longhorns. I know that sounds crazy, folks.
Oh man, play the Twilight Zone music.
Right? I mean,
Is this like where I move the camera and I'm going upside down? Like, whoa, we're in the Twilight Zone, people. Kobe just locked up Texas.
and here's the logic. Gary Patterson knows his TCU roster. He's on the defensive staff at Texas. Another thing is the weakness of this this TCU team has been the run defense. The strength of Texas is Bijan Robinson and Johnson. Their backup running back's a beast too. I just think, and in Austin, they're going to want this one. I just feel like TCU's been playing every game close. This is where it comes crumbling down. I got Texas -7. What are you doing? The line also doesn't make any sense to me. So I also believe this line and the next line we talk about. Actually, this can be our segment. Although I'm taking Kansas because that Texas Tech line makes no sense. This TCU Texas line makes no sense. And then the one we'll talk about after this, North Carolina Wake Forest, doesn't make much sense either. I am going to trust that the line also is inaccurate for a reason. I'm laying the 7, man, and I feel pretty good about it.
I'm trying to look here and see what Texas is ATS recently. You got a winning cover over Kansas State on the road, and then you drop that one against Oklahoma State. We were on Oklahoma State couple that game, and then you have kind of up and down. You dropped the ATS versus Iowa State, even though you won that game. You absolutely destroyed Oklahoma, and this is around the time Quentin Ewers coming back. 7, you're giving me a touchdown. I don't know. The 7 is scaring me because I feel like even if this goes to overtime, we're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And can you not see this go to an over? Like, I know Gary Patterson's gonna, they're gonna give the offense some cues. Like, he's gonna give the offense some cues, but I still think that TCU's offense is gonna be able to be in this one.
It's a tough game. Tough. By the way, the chat is saying KJ Jefferson's out for Arkansas.
Oh, word. Okay. I mean, all right. I'll take it.
Substantial. That's pretty substantial.
I still think that it's going to be more of a heavy ground and pound game. And when you think about what's the backup's name? Is it right? Why do I want to say right?
It is fuck. What the fuck is his name?
Or
he played earlier.
Fortin.
There's Fortin, who's a USF transfer, but there's also they played the third kid.
He was on, the other guy was on the team last year. Very mobile of a quarterback.
Hornsby,
not really
Hornsby, Malik Hornsby. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So more mobile quarterback, not really looking to throw the ball downfield. A lot of running and rushing the ball, and I think that's kind of what you need for a cold, ugly game like that. So I'm still on Arkansas. Back to this one. I'm gonna stop.
Is jumping though. It's up to 5.
Yeah.
FYI. Continue on. Yeah.
Back to this game. I'm gonna take TCU +7 just because I think that this could be a shootout game that goes to like an overtime or is like a field goal winner. I know it's very, very ugly line, but it's too much points for me. It's too much points for me. If I was getting 6, I would feel more comfortable because at least we push. If they go to overtime, you get a touchdown, no 2-point conversion or no, chance for opportunity. Or you go to overtime and first team doesn't score, you get a field goal win. Yeah, I'll take +7 with TCU.
Ooh, there we go. Now make sense of this line for me. Wake Forest -4.5 at home against North Carolina.
I think it's just the home. I think it's the home factor that they're kind of leaning.
Carolina's had their number lately, though, the past couple of years, and Carolina's got the better record this year. It doesn't make much sense to me, and for that reason alone, I'm taking Wake. It just doesn't make sense to me, though. Something is weird. Something is very weird about this.
You say you're taking Wake?
Only because the line doesn't make any sense. If I was setting this line, first off, this will be like a 50-50 crowd. If anything, maybe even more Carolina than Demon Deacons in Wake. Like so there's no true road environment here. Carolina has owned this rivalry lately, and just doesn't. And this year they're 5-0 on the road. It doesn't. The line makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And this is literally you talked about it being like the same as that Texas TCU game. This one's a little bit different because I'm getting less than a touchdown with Wake. If I'm getting less than a touchdown, if Wake can push this to an overtime game and we're going touchdown for touchdown, then we could still get a win here. So I'm with you, and I'm back in Wake -4.5.
Yeah, I mean, I only mean it like in the tense or in the sense that like TCU is the number 4 team in the nation. It's very rare to see the number 4 team in the nation go at the number 18 team in the nation be a 7-point dog. Well, this one, North Carolina's the number 15 team in the nation. Wake Forest has lost a few games, and North Carolina's owned this rivalry lately. This is not a tough road environment. The line just makes no fucking sense. Let's take Wake Forest. Florida State is at Syracuse.
What I will say for those on UNC is that Wake Forest does tend to lose these kind of games, and that's why their record normally is what it is.
That's true. Yeah. Florida State is at Syracuse. Syracuse is getting 7, but they do not have Garrett Schrader. It is Del Rio. Florida State looked good last week, but it is a classic letdown spot because they just played their rival and they destroyed them. But man, this is in the Carrier Dome. I got no fucking idea what is happening here. If it was if Schrader was playing and like I said, do your homework on this, folks. I would take. He's questionable from what I see. Man, I just wish I knew if he was playing or not, because if he's not playing, I like Florida State. If he's playing, I like Syracuse to cover at least the touchdown. What are you doing here?
I'm going to just plug my nose and take Syracuse. I don't think I could lay a touchdown with Florida State on back-to-back away game. Coming here after, rivalry win against Miami where it serves me correct. Prior to that game, no, they won. So they won the one before that in 2021. Prior to that, they lost 4 straight.
Yeah.
So still a really big rivalry game. Another year to stick it to Miami, and now you're going on the road to Syracuse, and where Syracuse has a little bit of a home environment up there in that Carrier Dome. So yeah, no, I'm going, and I'm just going to plug my nose and take the 7 with Syracuse. No matter the quarterback situation.
All right, let's get over it. We only got 3 minutes left, so we got to give a parlay, a money line parlay, and then an actual either parlay or teaser. What dogs do you like today? Outright.
All right, outright.
But that, man, even the Arkansas one sucks down with Jefferson.
We don't have to take it with Jefferson out.
Yeah, I think that scratches that.
I like it, but you won't have to take it. Let's look around the league.
I mean, there's not ODU would be one we talked about potentially. They're 7-point dogs. That is what is that on the money line? That is plus 215 on the money line. I don't like West Virginia. I'll go with West Virginia. I'm on board plus 225 with Dub V. I mean, there's not a lot. It's not as much. It's not like last week where I liked a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
South Carolina? You want to do South Carolina in the swamp?
Well, I feel like we have to do Kansas. Kansas is up there.
Yeah. Kansas has treated us well all year.
Yeah. Kansas.
So Jayhawks.
I'm looking for this Oklahoma, and wait, hold on. Let me just change my view. I just want to make sure I'm looking at records and what. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Oklahoma's still looking to try to go bowling. They're 5 wins. They got Oklahoma State. They got West Virginia, Oklahoma State, TCU. I'm sure they get to 6 to go bowling, but
what about Louisville? Could Louisville win outright? Man, I just don't like taking them.
And Clemson?
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like the dogs aren't that juicy today.
I think there's a couple. I'm trying to look at. Who did we just say was Washington? Let's take Washington. Let's fade Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Bo Nix has looked good for too long. Let's fade Bo Nix.
All right, I like it. Let's go Washington.
All right, so Washington, Kansas.
And a third one, and this is for a round robin action. A third one, I mean.
Because you said that Washington was plus 400. I'm going to go put this stuff in a parlay now. Hold on.
Let's go. Fuck, I don't like a lot of these. Let's go.
You said are you on Illinois?
I did take Illinois. I just think they're too physical for Purdue. What about Syracuse? Syracuse.
I mean, I'm not mad. I'm really not mad at it. I would love, and it looked like so. I think I saw somebody say that Schrader is out in the chat. I
Oh,
think I saw that somewhere, but
let's stay away then because the
yeah.
backup's not that good.
All right, let me see here. Let me find these games.
South Carolina. That's got to be the one, right? The third one there. South Carolina. They're getting plus 235 right now that I'm seeing.
I see it. I see a 255.
Let's do South Carolina as the last leg.
Hold on. All right, Kansas. South Carolina does pay out well. Let me just.
Our only
What do you
option.
feel about Southern Miss?
Oh, I kind of like it because Grayson McCall is it. Yeah, I'll do it. Let down
You think
spot.
we should? You think we should back them with Grayson McCall out? Is that not too obvious of a spot?
It does seem obvious though. That line did. What do you think? I could see Southern Miss winning more likely than South Carolina. I don't know though because Florida's not good, but I'll let you pick on that one.
Florida isn't good, but South Carolina can nerf up sometimes. Maybe if I fade my South Carolina Gamecocks, it's gonna fold me though, and I'm gonna regret it if they go out there and win.
Let's go with the Gamecocks. Let's do it.
All right, yeah, fuck it. And guess what? Guess what it pays?
What's that?
3-team parlay pays out. Well, it says it's 42-1, but it says 420 here. So
there
that's
we go.
not bad. Not bad luck there.
Let's go. Let's do that.
And you know what? If you feeling lucky and you feeling like, hey, let's throw a fourth team in there, throw Southern Miss in there. Throw Southern Miss in there. That pushes you That pushes you all the way up to 114-1.
Woo! Get in round robin right there. Round robin. All right, folks. The games have kicked. Let's go watch these fucking games. Everyone give Terrell a follow on Twitter and check out all of his work. I mean, the guy does a relentless amount of podcasts. So give him a follow at reallyRel __. You see it on YouTube right now. And let's go enjoy this game, folks. All right.
Let's do it.
This is the college football experience, week 11 pregame show. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.